Hey everybody, here we are. Welcome to Is This Thing Working? I'm your co-host, James, and that's my lovely co-host over there, Denise. How are you doing today, Denise?
I am doing awesome today. It's so glad to be here with you. We are trying new things every single day, and this is fun. So we are here to have a good time and to bring you the message. And the message that we're always pushing forward is to be informed and become engaged and be a force multiplier, like Steve Bannon is always saying. We found out today from watching War Room with Natalie Winters that, the representatives are upset that we're upset that they're not taking care of the unselect January 6th committee and getting Steve Bannon out of prison.
How dare you call somebody out on their accountability?
How dare you?
How dare you? Yeah.
Well, the people are so mad that we're not doing anything. Well, we can't do anything about them. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can absolutely do something about them.
Yeah.
You could call, y'all bring up this bill or this resolution that you're going to do. And all of a sudden, it's a non-starter. Where's that at? Where's this resolution that me and James have been talking about for months now?
Yes.
To get to call the unselect committee an unselect committee.
Yeah. This was going on long before back in July when they threw Steve in jail. This has been going on long before that, and this should have already been taken care of. They wait till the very last minute like they do everything else and think that they can just skate by and be done with it, man. This is, they're as we heard somebody else say this morning about the border and about Kamala's visit down there to the border, it's bullshit. Yes. He said it straight up on Fox News this morning on their little morning show. And Will, Pete, and Rachel, they all sat there real quiet for a second. And it was like almost simultaneously they all went, well said.
You can see them. They were squirming and uncomfortable because you're not allowed to cuss, especially on morning TV. How dare you cuss on morning TV when he comes out and says that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Everything that she said down there at the border was absolutely
lies
bullshit.
And bullshit.
Lies.
But, yeah.
Confiscating every single thing.
Yeah.
Like she's going to change anything. Like blaming the GOP for not passing a bipartisan bill. Well, obviously, I'm sorry. Was it bipartisan if they voted against it? No, it was not bipartisan. It was not a bipartisan bill.
Nope.
And they made this point, and we're going to continue to make this point, that the laws that we have work if they use them.
That's exactly right.
But they want to make new laws and then go by those instead of the ones that we have.
And ignore the ones that worked. Right.
That's exactly right.
It's nuts,
They
man.
want to change it.
It's absolutely nuts.
But before we get started, we want to state that these are our opinions and our assertions. And if you like this show, please share. And on the screen right now, this is where you could find us at Apple. You can find us at Spotify, Rumble, YouTube, share everywhere. Please download that Rumble app.
Exactly.
Where you can follow us and get instant notifications.
Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Getter. Follow us on every platform. And like Denise said, if you like our opinions and you like our assertions because they're our own, hey man, hit that like button and share our show. But I want to tell you something. Even if you don't like my opinions, Denise's opinions, our assertions, go ahead and share the show anyway, because we want our word out there. We want the message out there each and every day. So if you don't like it and you disagree with it, put it on out there and give me your opinions then. I want to hear it.
That's right. And if you don't want to hear today's opinions, you can go back and listen to 209 episodes of other of our opinions as well. And I have started repurposing some of the shows for those new listeners that have not been with us from the beginning. So you will see them randomly posted on Facebook and YouTube. And so be looking for those because they will catch you up on a lot of things that we're talking about now that we talked about then, and how things just keep escalating over time.
Yes.
The same stuff over time. But what escalated this weekend was not this weekend. I'm sorry. This is this weekend. But it was Thursday night.
Yeah.
It was Thursday night that this horrible hurricane came through and just devastated so many people.
All those in the Panhandle.
And we have an article right here, and we'll just go through it. Yeah, Hurricane Helene. 52 dead across the South from catastrophic storm.
Yeah, and this is coming from ABC News, of all places. But it says here, that it made landfall in Florida's Big Bend region Thursday night as a massive Category 4 hurricane, the strongest to make landfall in the Big Bend on record. The winds were 140 miles an hour, they were saying, at the eye wall. That's just unbelievable, man. That's not unbelievable, but it's just, it's mind-blowing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It is.
It's crazy. And it said that the storm surge, the wind damage, and the inland flooding has been catastrophic, leaving dozens of people dead.
Yeah, it's really terrible. There have been flooding, and look at the pictures, man. It's devastating. I mean, you see tornadoes do this kind of stuff, but this hurricane, that wind.
Well, yeah, not so much the wind, but the water. Look at that's what because you see roofs on top of the houses here, but all the stuff that it washed off of the ground and up to, because the tide went in, the tide came out, man. The debris, it was horrible. It's a big mess down there, and prayers for all the people down there, especially the families of those that lost loved ones. Keep them in your prayers, and like we always say, hey, if you're somewhere nearby and you've got it in your heart to go help, please go help them.
Really?
Please go help with rescue efforts. I guarantee you there's all kinds of rescue efforts going on right now.
Right. People are still being looked for. I know last night on X, there was someone that was just pleading for someone to go. It was this one in North Carolina, for them to go look for her mom, that she went down into a bunker or some kind of like underground thing, and that she hasn't been able to be reached. I haven't seen yet if she has been found or not. So everyone, please pray for all these people. But the storm surge was more than 15 feet in some spots, much more significant than other recent storms. 11 people in Florida were killed from the storm, but none of the fatalities were in Taylor County, where Helene made landfall.
Yep, and that's coming from Governor DeSantis.
Yes.
He credited local officials, it says, and residents for heeding evacuation orders. He said, if you had told me there was going to be 15 to 18 feet of storm surge, I would have expected multiple fatalities. The fact that there weren't any here is a testament to the preparedness of the community. And I guess, I don't.
But no one expected it to go, the people as far inland as Georgia and South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. I mean, North Carolina got hit really, really hard, very devastated. Didn't they have a dam break?
Yes,
also
in Boone, North Carolina. I think that dam finally broke. I mean, it had failed yesterday, and water was flooding over it.
That's what they're saying right here.
Yeah,
this is Boone right here
in Boone, North Carolina.
For a podcast audience, it's a picture of Boone, and it's all muddy and debris is everywhere, and cops and cars are trying to get through, and it's pretty devastating. In Georgia, where at least 15 people were killed, the victims include a first responder who was trying to save others, Governor Brian Kemp said.
Yeah, it said in McDuffie County, Georgia, just west of Augusta, a mother and her twin infants were among those victims. And as of this morning, in Florida, the death toll has climbed to 11. Governor DeSantis announced
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really, really bad. 17 were killed in South Carolina, including 2 firefighters in Saluda County. Governor Henry McMaster's also said. Pasco County, Florida, faced worst devastation they've ever had in decades. They're just north of Tampa and are facing a level of devastation in our county that, quite honestly, I haven't seen in the 20-plus years I've lived here, County Administrator Mike Carballa said. Pasco's County's Emergency Center received about 400 to 500 calls for service early Friday morning after landfall, Carballa said. Of those calls, crews were only able to answer about 20% of those calls.
That's amazing.
There were fires that first responders saw but could not initially reach, and that was heart-wrenching. He said, we felt very, very helpless. Despite the devastation, officials said they saw residents helping their neighbors, like taking them to safety in boats. The initial response phase has ended, and officials are now moving into damage assessments, what Carballa said.
Here's the latest forecast. The storm surge, wind damage, and inland flooding from Hurricane Helene, of course, was catastrophic.
And Friday's flooding in North Carolina, it said it surpassed records that stood for more than a century. The French Broad River in Asheville, North Carolina, peaked at 24.67 feet, breaking the previous record of 23 feet from 1916. More than 24 river gauges are in major flood stage due to this historic rainfall. Many of these rivers will take several days to return to normal after reaching these record high levels. On Saturday of today, parts of North Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia remain under flash flood emergency watch.
Wow. Helene, now a post-tropical cyclone, is stalling over the Tennessee Valley, bringing more rain and scattered gusty winds through the weekend.
Yeah.
More than 2 million people are still without power. More than 4 million customers lost power across the South on Friday in the wake of Hurricane Helene. And on Saturday morning, more than 2 million are still without power. Well, sure.
Yep.
Yeah, there are.
We have some family that live in Sarasota, and I talked to them. I talked to them Thursday afternoon. I didn't talk to them. I sent them a message on Thursday afternoon.
Checking on
them and told them I was thinking of them and hoped that they were safe. And I heard back from them yesterday morning that they were doing fine, that some things got blown around, but they were fine, and they made it through okay.
That's really good because Sarasota is right there.
Right south of Tampa.
Right south of Tampa. And, isn't this like the third or fourth time they've just barely been missed?
Well, yeah.
I mean, seriously. I mean, they get the hurricane.
Well, I think they had one back in an early season one this year, like in April maybe. Maybe I think that's when it was. I'd have to look back, but yeah, that's a frequent thing for me to talk to my family over there and make sure they're okay.
Sure they're all right.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how everything is right there in Florida. And there's more disturbances out in the Gulf or aiming toward the Gulf, rather.
Yeah.
And they were showing it on the Weather Channel this morning, and it's amazing to me how many
5
disturbances are out there.
Yeah. Across the Atlantic, from the Gulf across the Atlantic over to the western side of Africa, which is where the paths usually come because of what I learned the other day about the 5 north latitude. Yeah.
Right.
So anyway,
we're always learning.
But that's the path they travel, and they're saying that there are 5 out there right now.
One
plus
seems to be
plus the one that's about to get in near the northeastern tip of South America and into that little stretch and enter into the Gulf of Mexico. So who knows what could go with that again?
With the cold front coming down, I don't know. Texas has been in the clear, but as soon as all that changes, it will come straight toward us.
And also, we have some family in North Carolina. I heard from them yesterday too. They said, "Hey, man, we're good. We're a little wet, but we're good. We got a roof, and everything is still good. God is good." I don't know. I don't know if they have yet.
Yes, it's still over them right now, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. I think they live close to Boone. I think they do, but I'm not for sure.
Wow, so they could be affected by the dam break
by all of this,
necessary.
yeah. By all of this, yeah. So let's keep on moving. What else do we got? What else we got to yak about for a minute?
Let's yak about. That's what we're doing today. It's Saturday Yak a Day. There's something I really wanted to discuss, and let me see if I can find it here.
Today is Yak a Day.
Today is a Yak About Anything Day. We might do this regularly on Saturday. You know, just get up and say, "Hey, this is what we found during the week." You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much to say, so much that has happened. We talked about the border. What I thought was really interesting about this right here is the amount of illegal aliens entering the U.S. who came from certain countries, from Nicaragua. I can't say that right.
Yeah, Nicaragua.
Yes, Cuba, Honduras, Haiti, Guatemala, El Salvador, Venezuela, Ecuador, Mexico, and Colombia and Peru. These are the amount of people, like 6.5% of their population.
This is that CHNV bill that they passed. This is why
the app that brings them over here.
Yeah, that's what that is.
And
the
certain
CHNV app.
Certain supposedly countries that are, third world, they're bringing them over here. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. I thought that was interesting. Something that everyone should know, with Kamala Harris going down to the border. And then speaking of the border, Todd Bensman, who is with Centers of Immigration Studies, he has been threatened for exposing Biden's migrant superhighway, the Darien Gap, which I thought was very interesting because he's been doing this for a long time. But it says here, Biden's migrant superhighway has been revealed. Millions in U.S. taxpayer cash turned into the world's deadliest smuggling route into a safe passage. How Todd Bensman was threatened for exposing it because it wasn't a safe passage. They kept saying it was a safe passage. They told all these illegals, hey, this is a safe passage. This is how you get here. But then you have cartels, the Colombian cartel soldiers that are down there, and they're making money off of these people. And
the NGOs are.
Yes, they are.
Buddy. And that's what we've been talking about for months now, about the NGOs, the different ones, and how that they're the ones facilitating this superhighway. They're the ones that are facilitating all this traffic that's coming back up from there, man.
In the Darien Gap, it's a 70-mile stretch of dense jungle connecting South America and Panama, through which 1.5 million migrants from 170 countries have passed from 2021 to August 2024. And it is, there have been many, many pictures and stories written about everything like this that's happened. And Todd Bensman has been on top of it. And now they're trying to threaten him. Well, good luck with that, sir. I commend you.
What was the threat? But it's okay.
Oh, it's just the government. The page wasn't loading right.
Yeah.
So I had to get off the page.
I get it.
That was exactly why. Daily Mail is horrible with that. And but no, the government is coming after him. Just like they do,
everybody
like they
else.
Are Eric Adams, because he didn't like the border coming to his state.
Yep.
I can't stand Mayor Adams. I'm just going to say that. I can't stand his politics, the way, he comes off as being, just the greatest ever. But one thing I will say is he is being railroaded, because he is not part of the regime.
He spoke out against them.
He spoke out against the regime.
This should teach a lot of these people that, hey, man, in the end, they don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about Eric Adams. They don't care who you are. If you speak out against them, they're going to do their best to ruin you. And that's what they're after. Oh, there we go.
Let me see if I can find the actual one I'm looking for.
Do it. You can do it.
I can do it. I can do it. I can do it.
Hey.
Here it is. Exclusive. We got to talk about our Bannon, which we already have. From the National Pulse, Stephen K. Bannon pins "Victory is at hand" message to MAGA from Danbury Prison. Here we go.
Yep, finally we get to hear from him himself.
Okay, it says, from the National Pulse, Raheem Kassam, recent shifts in the few reliable polls in key districts and swing states show that hard-pressed Americans are decisively rejecting the phony politics of joy and the empty promises that define the Harris campaign. People are seeing through the word salad rhetoric, recognizing it for what it is: hollow. To date, the Harris campaign has offered no real solutions to the struggles Americans face: inflation, rising crime, and weakening national security. These topics can't be masked by feel-good phrases, celebrity endorsements, or as many Oprah interviews as you want.
Yep. He goes on to say, Harris has peaked. The momentum is now on our side, and this is the time to capitalize on it. If the Make America Great Again movement focuses all of its efforts on a massive get out the vote and ballot chasing effort in the crucial days and weeks until November 5th, we will win, and we will win big. The stakes have never been higher, and this is the opportunity to take back control. We are not just fighting for a win, we are fighting for the future of America. A victory of this magnitude means sweeping control of the House, Senate, and the presidency. With this trifecta, we can destroy the policies that have harmed Americans and put the country back on track. The reality is there is no significant group of undecided voters left regarding the candidates themselves. People know where they stand when it comes to President Trump and his opponents. What remains unclear for some is whether they will actually participate in the voting process. These are the individuals that will decide the election. With relentless effort and personal contact, they will break our way. It's our job to engage with them, ensure they understand what's at stake, and motivate them to cast their ballots. President Trump risks his life daily to save our country. Every day he faces tremendous opposition and challenges, but he continues to fight for the American people. Through your work, show him that you have his back. Let's demonstrate our commitment to this cause by putting everything we have into these final weeks. Remember, victory is at hand.
Absolutely. From Steve Bannon himself, from Danbury Prison.
Is this thing working?
Rise up.